It's on its way here right now. The DJI Ronin-S is coming to my house on a FedEx truck somewhere out there. So I'm gonna go through 4 big questions I have about the Ronin-S and then give you some tips on what you can do to go ahead and start preparing for yours to arrive. Coming up. Well, hey, my name's Luke with Wedding Film Coach, and I'm so excited about the DJI Ronin-S. Like I said, it is out there on its way here right now, and I have a few big questions that I'm going to be doing some tests and figuring out first thing. And so I wanted to go through those with you, so maybe you would know if you've ordered this, or if you're still on the fence about ordering, you're thinking about it. This will be some good questions for you to consider as well if you want to upgrade to this gimbal, or maybe even get into the gimbal game altogether with your first gimbal as the DJI Ronin-S. And so here are the 4 big questions. Number 1, I'm wondering how the app works. If it has good functionality, if it's going to crash. I use iOS, and so usually iOS apps work great. The DJI Go app with their drones works really good. It's very stable. I've only had a few issues with it, and usually when you have an issue, they correct that pretty quickly. And so I'm wondering about the functionality, the stability, how you're going to be able to tune the gimbal with the app. It looks like you can auto tune it, and also go in and do some advanced customizable settings. So I'm hoping that with my Sony cameras that I use, it's able to auto tune fairly quickly, and I won't have to spend a whole day trying to get all the motors exactly precise, that it can just kind of figure that out with me. So I hope it's that smart. And the second question that I have is actually a bit technical, but it is if I can inverse the roll axis, the horizontal axis. So most gimbals have the motor on this side of the gimbal, and of course the camera is oriented properly, but I like to use my pilot fly with the motor on the left hand side, because it makes so much sense to me that all of your functionality, all of your shutter speed, your aperture, your record, your ISO, all your quick function menus are on the right side of your camera, so you don't want that to be blocked by a big motor over here. And so I'm wondering, all the marketing and all the images I've seen of the DJI Ronin-S, that motor is over on this side, blocking the ability to hold your camera if you want to go handheld for a minute and just keep it on the gimbal. And also, more importantly, just accessing those function buttons on the right side of your camera. So I hope that you can inverse that on the DJI. I'll be sure to let you know when I find out. That's definitely the second big question that I have. The third question that I have is if DJI hopefully has resolved the horizon drift issue. When I'm using this gimbal, and I've heard a lot of people with cranes or other gimbals, as they're using it, it'll slowly start to drift to the left or slowly start to drift to the right. And even though you can fix that in post through your rotation, or you can just grab the camera and kind of reset it, it's just a frustration that you don't want to have to be dealing with all throughout your day, especially if you're in the middle of a moment, if you're in the middle of a shot, and it's just messing up your composition. You don't want to have to worry about that. So I hope that DJI has corrected that, got the software tuned in to where they can nail that down and just get rid of that issue. And the fourth question I have is, will it be smart enough and powerful enough to accommodate different lenses with minimal balancing? So with this Pilot Fly H2, it's actually pretty good. I can balance this kind of at a happy medium, where I can use my 55 prime, I can use my 24-70 zoom, and I can use my 10-18 wide lens on this camera, really with only balancing the front and back and maybe a little bit of the side to side. But it's not like a whole other 2-minute process. It's like I take 10 seconds, make a few quick adjustments, and it's good to go. The motors and the software in here takes care of the rest. So I'm hoping that DJI has figured out their software and their motors to where they're strong enough and smart enough to be able to accommodate different lenses, switching those on the fly, because as a wedding filmmaker, you're just on the fly all the time. The run and gun, the guerrilla filmmaking, all that stuff, it's on the go. And so that would really help me out if it could. So those are my 4 big questions about the DJI Ronin-S that's coming to my house right now. I'm super excited it's going to be here. And so what am I doing to prepare for it coming? 1, I definitely downloaded the app. If you're on iOS right now, you can tap on a link in the description that will take you to the App Store, take you right to the Ronin app that DJI put out. If you're on a desktop or an Android, of course, you can just do the search for the app. It's just the DJI Ronin app, But if you're on the iOS, you can tap on that link and it's going to take you directly to that page. The second thing you can do to prepare for your Ronin-S coming is watch some tutorial videos about balancing. I watched the DJI's own tutorial about balancing, and if you've ever had a gimbal before, it's pretty much the same. So it's not going to be a whole new world for you. But if you're new to gimbals, if you're feeling unconfident about the way that you balance your gimbal, go ahead and watch those tutorials. That way you'll know exactly what you need to do, in which order you need to balance it when it comes, and you won't have to fool around trying with that. And then the last tip I'll give you is go ahead and watch DJI's tutorial on using the app. I did this. They have maybe 3 different tutorials, kind of just getting it on, and then using the basic functions, and then using the creative functions. And so check that out. I'll put a link to their channel, to that playlist in the link in the description below. And so just go ahead and watch that. That way you kind of have a little bit of knowledge before you get in and play around with it. I'm the kind of guy where I like to get into something, I like to play around with it, I like to see it myself, but just having a little bit more context through watching somebody else do that with some basic functions, I think that'll help you get started and make it a lot quicker of a process. Hey, well, those are my 4 big questions that I have about the Ronin-S, and a few tips to help you out while you wait. If you're still on the fence and you haven't ordered yours yet, I highly recommend checking out this gimbal. I'll put a link in the description below that'll take you right to the Ronin-S page on their website, on DJI's website. You can check out all the specs, all the functions. I actually have another video that I'll put up at the end of this video that just walks through. It's kind of, I'll tell you, it's not entertaining, it's boring, but it's informative. My goal is to be informative, to be helpful to you all. And so take a look at that. If you're taking a drive, or you're doing something at work and you don't really have time to sit and watch a video, you can just listen to this and still get a lot of information. So check that video out too. And I think that is all. So let me know what kind of questions you have in the comments, and I'll try to answer each one of those as I get my DJI Ronin-S, and let you all know what I think about it. Does give you the answers to these questions I asked, and then if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to answer those as well. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel, and I'd love for you to subscribe, hit the notification bell for notifications when I release new videos. Obviously, if you're interested in the Ronin-S, you'll want to keep those notifications on to let you know when I get out new videos. Next week, I'll be doing some extensive tests with it at Castle in Canada, because I'm going up there for a conference, so that is going to be some really cool footage, and I'm sure you'll enjoy watching that. So have a great day. I'll see you soon. Thanks.